going on, guys? I just want to start this video off by thanking you all for being here. I know that over the past 11 months or so, I've given you very little reason to. Uh, there's been no videos for you to watch, so why would you even bother checking the channel, obviously? Um, Main purpose of this video is essentially to address that, clear up kind of why I've been gone. Um, and then hopefully just give us sort of the next steps, explain what we're hoping to do in the future, or what I'm hoping to do in the future on this channel. Um, I've got a really good feeling about this year, to be honest with you. So I'm hoping that, well, I say I'm hoping. I'm going into this with as much energy and excitement as possible, and I have every intent on following through on what my plans are. And hopefully that just leads to us having a really good year on the channel. So I suppose I'll get into my explanation. Before I get into that, though, I just kind of wanted to address that we're trying something a little bit different with this video. I'm sort of one of the key things I've been doing with some of my editing is I'm experimenting with the different audio tracks and then trying to overlay different kinds of video to get them to work smoothly. So this video is going to be set to a little bit of God of War gameplay from my Give Me God of War playthrough, which I've been doing on my own time, sort of just honestly just replaying that game on a game mode that I've been meaning to for a long time but never have, in preparation for um, God of War Ragnarok, which spoilers for what we're going to talk about a little bit later in the video, but I'm so desperately hoping that that's one of the playthroughs we get to tackle this year. It's kind of going to be the big ticket. Um, it's really the biggest playthrough or the biggest sort of series I'm going to do on my channel that I'm really looking forward to. But either way, we'll delve into that a little bit down the road. Anyways, enjoy the gameplay. So essentially, the reason I've been gone so long, um, really unfortunate. It feels like it's just a really stupid, Like I've been looking forward to uploading for so long and coming back, partially because I really just wanted to get back into uploading, but also just because I felt like the reason I hadn't been uploading was so dumb. Um, Basically, like the 10 or 11 months ago or whenever that it was, um, that I uploaded my last video, I essentially, it was just a anticipated small break. It was going to be a couple of weeks because I just had a really busy patch in that little semester I was in. That would have been winter semester, I think, of 2020, well, winter of 2025, which is technically like the 2024 school year. Um, but essentially, it just kind of like it got busier than even I expected, even though I knew it was going to be busy. And so it kind of became a longer break of a month or two, um, because it persisted through final projects and then exams and whatnot. And then I finally got out of that. Um, and then during the summer, I started a new job, and and I was also taking a course throughout the summer as well that I had failed in the fall semester previously, so I really needed to actually focus in on it. And the new job it's like an early morning job, earlier mornings than I had ever worked previously, which ended up caught like especially during the height of it during like May, June, and July. Like I had to be up at 4 in the morning, which meant I couldn't really be like I'd be up at 4 in the morning, wouldn't be back home until like I would go from work to the gym, wouldn't be back home until like 2 p.m. and then I'd be almost in bed by 8. So um, that kind of just like that was only really 6 hours or whatever that I was leaving myself free time. And then I was spending a lot of that time with family and uh, eating dinner and doing other stuff. Either way, it really felt like that kind of period of time, or like that stretch of time. The reason I wasn't uploading felt more like excuses than actual valid reasons, but it was also like that's kind of me being a bit harsh on myself. Um, I could have found the time to upload just a little bit at least, just to kind of slip them in there if I was really actually dedicating any of the free time I had to YouTube, but I just wasn't, and that was out of laziness. Um, and then on top of all that, part of it was actually a little bit of discouragement because I was trying to learn a new editing software at the same time as well. So every time that I wanted to kind of get back in it, like would record a video and I would start editing it, and I'd be like, "Frick, man, this is taking longer than I expected it to." Like I don't remember, or not remember. I don't know how to use this program, and now there's a learning curve again to pick this up. Um, and I'm like holding myself to this high standard as well, where I'm like, if I'm gonna come back after now I've been gone a couple of months, I'm like, I want it to at least be a good quality video, right? So like there was one or two playthroughs I started. I have an episode one of a couple of games that I'm not gonna spoil because I'm still gonna go back and play them. Um, but I have them recorded and maybe even partially edited, but they're just not, like, they're so out of date now that the things I'm talking about don't feel relevant, or like I don't know, they just don't feel right to upload. Um, and like I beyond playthroughs, I did one or two return to the channel videos that I never got around to editing. This is actually like my third channel update that I'm recording essentially. But it's the only one where I actually wrote down my thoughts and I feel like I'm a little more put together. And now, hopefully you guys have caught it, or if you haven't, you see it after this video. But I did actually record, edit, and upload a full proper video. I think it's like 35 or so minutes. It's a little Garden Warfare 2 pack opening. Again, it kind of sucks because it's now actually like a month old that I recorded that. Um, I just kind of pushed through that because the editing was slow and stuff happens. I'm now in another school semester, but I've kind of put some things in place that I'm hoping will help me take the time to still upload to YouTube. Um, I'm not normally somebody who likes setting New Year's resolutions, because I feel like market like specifically the whole New Year resolution thing to me is just a little bit weird because it's like if you really wanted to work on this thing, it doesn't make any sense, in my opinion, to set the resolution for the beginning of the year. Um, Specifically when it's like it's December 27th and it's like, oh, I'm gonna set a resolution for January 1st, and then I'm gonna spend the rest of the year focusing on it, and it's like you're kind of hoping that this whole new year, new me thing will take effect, and that just makes no sense. It's like it's December 27th. That's 4 days difference. Why do you magically assume that in 4 days you're going to be a much better person who's going to follow the resolution? And if that's not your thought process, why not just start the resolution now, 4 days in advance? Like, just if you want a change to come, enact the change. Um, anyway, I disregarded that this year, and I wouldn't necessarily call them full goals, but I've just set myself some, I guess, hopes is almost a fair, but we'll call them goals because that, let's not be pretentious. They're just goals. Um, just a couple of things I wrote down in a little book that I've got in front of me that I'm hoping to stick to for the year. Um, I'm not going to run through what they are, but like they're primarily based around me actually trying to get back into and stay consistent with uploading to YouTube. Um, the main goal behind the goal behind the goals that I wrote down, is essentially just to help me kind of get over my mental roadblocks in terms of uploading. They'll hopefully just let me kind of do instead of thinking about doing too much, which is a common issue I have. Should probably go to therapy for that, to be honest. I feel like it's a much bigger problem than I acknowledge in my day to day life, but that's a problem for another time. Um, what I can say is between the goals and sort of the position I'm in now with school and whatnot, this video and the one I just uploaded are not a one and done for another 10 months. It's a good sign of things to come. Um, I have more videos planned. There's more stuff on the way. Um, as I mentioned earlier, one such playthrough that I'm really excited for is to do God of War Ragnarok. Um, I don't even remember if in any of my old videos I mentioned it. I'm sure I would have, but somewhere over the course of not too long ago, I got a PS5. Um, I bought the PS5 almost exclusively for Ragnarok, and I still actually haven't played Ragnarok. I bought the PS5, and it probably wasn't even a year before I bought Ragnarok because I got the PS5 and the game that came with it was Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And I knew that I wanted to record Ragnarok because God of War 2018 is, I think, without a doubt, my favorite game of all time. Especially since I've gone back in and I've started replaying it. I want to say this is my third or maybe my fourth playthrough. And I've just like the second I started sinking my teeth back into it, I'm like re-addicted. Um, like just between the storyline, the world building, the characters, the gameplay, it's a game that rivals any other artistic experience. I think like it's the best story over I think any movie I can think of. Like I feel like I could wax poetic about that game for hours if you gave me the opportunity to. Um, but anyway, with Ragnarok, I didn't get um, I didn't even buy the game, and then it eventually got to a point where I'm just like, okay, I'll ask for it for Christmas. You know, like it's when's the last time I can think of that I got a video game that I was like, oh, I want this game, I want this game, I gotta ask for it for Christmas. You know, um, I probably had to have been like 12 or 13, and that doesn't sound like you know, but like me asking for God of War Ragnarok for Christmas. I thought I had laid the hints a little bit better earlier in the year, but apparently not, or maybe they just didn't go through to my mom. But it led to me getting, I still think, one of the coolest accidental marketing cases here, where I've got this is the God of War collection. It's got the first and second game for the PS3, and I have Ragnarok digitally, or sorry, God of War 2018 digitally, not on disc. So this is the only God of War game I had in disc sitting around. But my mom got clever and put the little 5 and the Ragnarok logo on there. And then like 2 or 3 days later, I got the actual disc, but I was not about to give up um, the opportunity to post that as my marketing for the Ragnarok playthrough. So one of the one of the big roadblocks to this Ragnarok playthrough actually happening are essentially that I only have one monitor. I need to be or need I would like to be able to have my OBS kind of always on screen because I have had like I don't know if this is commonplace for most YouTubers starting out or if I'm just an absolute rookie and have no idea how this stuff works, but I constantly have issues with audio or sometimes the freaking video craps out for no apparent reason. Um, and I just like I want to have my OBS window there so if something goes wrong, I can screw around with it and fix it. So I with one monitor, I don't want to open OBS, start recording, and then switch over to the PlayStation and then not be able to see my OBS. So what I've been doing is basically just playing my PS5 through my OBS window. When it comes to recording, the new issue I'm going to have if I do that is if I want my face, if I want to do a webcam playthrough, which I want to do most of my playthroughs webcam, if I want my webcam on screen, I have to look at my ugly mug while I'm playing, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to be distracted by my own. Like I'll be sitting there watching my screen, see myself in the corner, and then um, start vomiting violently on camera. Um, or actually, on a more serious note, is it'll take up space on my screen that while it might be like I might deem that it's acceptable for you guys to not see that part of the screen. I want to be able to see all of my screen when I'm playing a video game, you know. Um, so essentially, what I'm waiting for is an opportunity to get a second monitor. That's a purchase that you don't want to take lightly. You want to make sure you get it right, and you want to make sure you do it at the right time. So that's down the line. hopefully sooner than later, but not something I'm going to be doing all willy-nilly. So in the meantime, I've kind of made the decision that essentially I'm going to do some playthroughs through the PS5, and I'm just going to try and pick games where I don't feel like much is lost by not having my visual reaction on screen. Um, I have one in mind. Hopefully it gets up, like I'm gonna record and upload it, and hopefully it comes out sooner than later. Um, but sort of just where you don't need necessarily the visual reaction, and just my voice is enough. My voice in the game, that is, because obviously just my voice is, no one wants to watch that. So anyway, I'm probably running out of God of War gameplay to set this to, so and I'm very swiftly approaching, I'm sure, the limit. I've got a constant battle, I feel like, trying to keep these videos short enough, long enough that they're actually quality videos to upload, but then short enough that anyone actually has the patience to watch them, because it's so easy to go over time if you're trying to keep things to a certain timeline. I think this is shaping up to be a really good year. I'm very excited for what's to come, and I'm very excited to be back to uploading on the channel. Um, so yeah, I really hope that you guys are looking forward to it as much as I am. I'm looking forward to reading any comments and any interactions I get with you guys as the videos keep on coming. Um, I just want to thank you once again for being here. I'll see you all in the next one. Okay, fellas? Peace.